I like the lighting on Alex right now.
That's our intro, Brian. You like
Oh,
Wow.
the lighting on
awesome!
Alex right
I
now.
love the lighting on
Thank
Alex.
you.
That's on me. I
It's,
didn't give you guys a proper countdown, but
no,
hello,
it's okay.
welcome to Game Informer's. Gosh, what do I call this thing? The cover reveal live stream. Our
Yeah.
December cover reveal live stream. Welcome everybody.
Welcome in.
I'm gonna do
Yes.
some tweets. I'm Kyle Hilliard with Game Informer. Brian Shea is here.
Good
I'm out.
morning, everybody.
Yeah, and Alex Van Aken is here as well.
Hello, hello. Alex with the good lighting, apparently.
Yeah, look at that. It's like the it's somewhat mysterious. I would say
Yeah,
mine is like bright and like shiny. You have like a little bit of like mystique
a
about you.
mood. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm lighting from my overhead, and that's a technique that gives you more of a dramatic look. Whereas
See,
if
I
the light was a little further down here, it would be a more, friendly look. But again, I want to keep people on their toes.
it's almost as if you know what you're doing with video.
You know, I do my best. Also, I know we've got 10 minutes till we reveal this
Yeah,
live
we got some
stream.
time. We're just hanging out
On
right now.
our recent trip, went like to the place.
Yeah, don't say where you went yet. We're not ready for that.
Okay, all right. Then I'll put this away.
Oh well, I don't know. What do you guys think? Convince
It was
me.
it
No,
was
no,
a
no, no, no. Let's
souvenir.
wait a
Say
little bit
where we-
longer. Let's wait a little bit
You guys
longer.
can say
I
where
got
you
a
went. We can say that
souvenir.
Brian and Alex had to travel for this cover story.
We did have to travel. We were two boys on the road once again. We've done many of these stories together at this point.
Yeah, you guys have done a lot of these. Yeah.
There are plenty of destinations that we have traveled to. This is one that I think, well, this particular city we've gone kind of once in an unofficial capacity together, but we've gone not to the city for work before.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So a city somewhere.
Yeah, a city somewhere on the globe
Take
that we've
that,
not really.
Twitch chat. What and give us your guesses based on that. Oh boy. But yeah, welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We've been doing this for quite a while now. It's a year, give or take, something like that. We've been doing these live stream cover reveals, and I always look forward to them. I always have a good time with them. And our website has been updated pretty significantly lately. So now if you're on GameInformer.com, the homepage, you're seeing us. We're on there. It's lovely.
We already have two guesses. One is Spider-Man 2, of course. The other one is speculating that we went to Vegas, baby. We did not.
Yeah,
We did not go to Vegas.
I don't think there's any game developers in Vegas. At least I don't think so. I went to Vegas once in my life, and it was because Bandai Namco was holding an event where they shared details on a number of games. But that was the only time I ever went to Vegas.
I've been to Vegas 3 times, 2 of which were for work.
What were you doing? Was it similar
I was there
thing? There was like an event happening there?
No, one was for GameStop Expo. I was there. They used to have Game Informer people show up as like invited guests, and then the other one was for Dice, which wonderful networking event within the games industry. Met many people that I have admired their work from afar. So,
Yeah.
and I had a great conversation with Todd Howard about cheeseburgers. So,
Wow.
And piling up hundreds of them in a spaceship?
no, we were at an after party for the convention, and we were talking about which of the spread of cheeseburgers was the move.
The move.
Yeah, that's literally how he approached me. He said, "All right, what's the move here?" And we dissected verbally the various offerings. There were like 6 cheeseburger choices you could have.
And what is it?
It's always good when they've got a big, catering setup. Like that's
Oh, yeah.
always the go-to small talk.
It is. Like we ran into that on our recent trip to the Game Awards, Alex.
We
This is not a
did.
part of our cover story trip that we are going to be talking about here in the next few minutes, but we also were at a party, and we were talking with some people about the spread. So yeah, you're right. The catering options are always a good small talk option, and we're both Minnesota residents currently. We're not.
Yes,
Neither of
yes.
us are from Minnesota, but we here in Minnesota freaking love our small talk.
Oh yeah. We can't go a second without small talk here.
All about the weather. The moment you see anybody, it's like instinctual.
That does annoy me about living in Minnesota. I'm like,
it's been warm lately, huh? Oh, not much
yeah,
snow this year.
wow,
Always.
yeah.
It drives me crazy, but I find myself doing it every single time.
It's very much a Minnesota thing. I think that and overly apologizing for things you don't need to apologize for, and then not being able to say goodbye. Those are up there as Minnesota.
Where are you guys from? When people ask you where you're from, what do you say?
I'm from the East Coast. That's what I say.
Just East Coast, broad, just a broad East Coast.
Yeah. What? When I say East Coast, what comes to mind?
Well, I'm from South Carolina, so I could say East Coast as well. But
yeah,
that would be. I don't know. I feel like that's incorrect. That's inaccurate.
I'm from Maryland, even though I was born in Florida, but I grew up in Maryland.
So I should probably say I'm from the South because I'm from Virginia.
See, there we go.
Oh, look at this.
But then when I say I'm from the South, people from the South are like, "That's not the South." And then when I say I'm from the East Coast, people are like, "That's not the East Coast." So I just
you're a man without a home.
Yeah, just
a Ronin.
A Ronin, yeah, wandering Ronin.
Alex Badnick.
Oh, hello,
checking in on the chat.
Wow.
But Rich Bad at Game said Minnesota Tourist Board, small talk, big memories. I like that.
Is that a real thing? It feels like a real thing.
It might be. I don't know.
That's a good slogan.
That is.
Yeah.
That's a very sorry, but like they're deciding what the Minnesota state flag is today, and we really need to get that on the flag. Like last minute, kick in the Capitol door over in St. Paul and say, "Hey, we've got a slogan that needs to get on that flag."
Yeah, just a terrible font. Just get it on there as quickly as possible.
Comic Sans.
Small talk, big city.
All right, so we should start teasing this cover because we got 3 minutes until the reveal. Alex, I think we can say at this point a couple of hints. One of which was you and I crossed an ocean to get to our destination.
Yep.
We have not been secretive about what city we're at in social media.
No.
We've shared multiple pictures and a few videos of our time together in this city. And
as an incentive for people to follow us on social.
There you go.
And we also did an influencer thing where we went to an immersive experience where we took it's a very famous one that you've probably seen a lot of people post who have visited this very city. Let's see.
An influencer thing. What is that? What do you mean by that? Like influencers go to? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, they a lot of influencers like to go to this event, but that's aside the point.
All right.
The company that we visited is one of the most legendary companies in gaming.
Fair, I think. My little hint that I offered on Twitter just an hour ago was that I think folks are going to like this issue, which is something I think I say for every one of these streams, but I think people will actually want to have like a copy.
I think they'll want the physical issue.
This is legitimately one of my favorite cover arts since I've started at Game Informer.
It's going to be iconic, I think. Plug GameStop.com/Game Informer if you eventually want to pick up the physical version for $7.99, $6.99, $7.99.
And you can go get it in the stores too as well, I think. If you want
yeah. So digital issue will launch later today, and then in the next week or so, you'll start to see physical issues hit your mailboxes and also storefronts and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, we got about a minute. It's coming up.
Yeah,
I'm excited to press the button here. I'm always nervous every time we do this that I'm going to press the button early by accident. I haven't done it yet.
Do not press the button.
I don't even touch the mouse. Both hands up here. I'm not gonna touch it.
Yeah. Eric Van Allen in chat says, "Let's go Spider-Man 2." So, carrying on that tradition.
We have done a couple of retrospective, and to be fair, it's not Spider-Man 2. I will flat out tell you that. This issue, in addition to this cover story that we're about to reveal, also has our Game of the Year stuff in it. So we will be talking about that later today when the digital issue launches. So we're mere seconds away from showing this.
Here we go. You guys ready?
All right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Here we go. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth cover. Boom. I mean, come on. It's Cloud Sephiroth on the cover.
Also, the cover art designed with the help of Tetsuya Nomura, the legend himself. And yeah, I can't wait to have a copy of this issue on my shelf and also framed on my wall. Like, this is legitimately one of my favorite cover art that Game Informer has done. So happy. I was the one that got to write the cover story. Alex was there by my side. We talked to Tetsuya Nomura. We talked to Naoki Hamaguchi, Teruki Endo. We talked to Motomu Toriyama, and of course, Yoshinori Kitase. So got to see a little bit of exclusive gameplay, learned a whole lot about side quests, learned a whole lot about the mini games, and then just talked like philosophically about the creation of the remake trilogy and the steps that Square Enix is taking with Rebirth. It is.
I think that was my favorite conversation we had there, was sitting there with Nomura. Who's in that interview? It was Nomura, Hamaguchi, and Kitase.
Kitase, yeah.
And yeah, just really diving into why, the first inkling of coming up with this trilogy, just really getting into, like you said, the philosophical nature of it, their overall vision for this trilogy, and we got some really candid answers, especially from Nomura. It was a great interview.
He doesn't like to talk a lot. I mean, that's exciting that you guys got to speak with him.
He had a great time, actually. We had 2 hours with him, Kitase, and Hamaguchi, and we got like the kind of like, okay, it's been 2 hours, time to start wrapping it up from like the PR people. And Nomura actually wanted to keep talking. So that was nice. I think he had a great time. He was giving some very open and honest answers, and was chiming in on almost every question that we were throwing his way. So I think the three of them had a great conversation with us. And of course, we had a ton of time with Naoki Hamaguchi, who is the director of both Remake and Rebirth.
Yeah. I really, really respect Hamaguchi. We got to know him very, very well on this trip. And, besides being like a really, at this point, iconic game director now, with Rebirth, and of course before that Remake, he's just a delightful human, which isn't always the case, on these cover trips. Just being honest, like, there's a lot of people that are really good at what they do, and then it's a whole nother thing to also be like a really good person. Yeah, from all of our conversations, that was the impression I left with leaving Square Enix.
Yeah, we had a chance to go to lunch with Hamaguchi after our cover story, and we invited him to just go to lunch with us and like have a great time, and like just kind of like celebrate the fact that we got through all the cover story meetings, because it is a very intensive process when you're there for a couple of days, getting in the studio all day. And he made it seem like, oh yeah, I actually had like a little bit of extra, like I went to my favorite cheesecake place and I had a little bit of extra stuff, and he very obviously bought us like a slice of cheesecake in order to thank us for coming all the way out to like visit them in the studio. So he's a very delightful human being, and just very gracious, and you could tell that like he is very humble and just candid. Yes, that was the word I was looking for. Like he was very open. I asked him, like, we do have a rapid fire interview that we're doing, and I asked him at one point,
who's in the rapid fire interview?
Hamaguchi.
It's Hamaguchi. Okay, cool.
The game director.
Yeah, game director of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And at one point, I asked him, like, what's your favorite RPG outside, or what's the best RPG outside of Final Fantasy? And I actually had a follow-up question ready, because I was almost certain he was going to say another Square Enix franchise, just because I'm so used to like a lot of developers like doing kind of like walking that corporate line. Mm-hmm. And to my surprise, he named one outside of Square Enix. So that was a very fun moment. And he's
a Western title too.
Yeah, a Western RPG.
Yeah,
which was very cool to hear, and one that we all love. So everybody be sure to keep an eye out for that. The cover story itself, 12 pages. I will have several stories going up on GameInformer.com over the next several weeks. And we also got to visit the Square Enix Cafe and get a private tour, which was really neat. So Alex will have a video up about that at some point in the future.
Yeah,
and
early January on both of those videos. So when you come back from the holidays, you will have a lot of good video content related to Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
Nice.
so then also on top of that, as I alluded to prior to the cover reveal, we will have our full Game of the Year stuff in this issue. So yeah, today when the digital issue launches, you will know our top 10 games of the year, including our Game of the Year, as well as all of our category winners. So very
That's my
exciting.
favorite part, honestly, the category winners and the
Yeah.
best and brightest. The top 10 is really fun, and we spend a lot of time getting that. But I think the majority of our conversation tends to take up all the other games that were like, our editor picks, our various category winners, which aren't necessarily in the top 10. Some of them are. And that's my whole favorite part of the process, because you see the breadth of games that came out this year in our massive spreadsheet. And it's like, wow, a lot came out this year. There's a lot that we're passionate about, and whittling that down to, the best and brightest is really fun.
Yeah, and it's great because like we also have editor picks. So like even if something doesn't win a category, if like Alex was really passionate about a certain title, he could be like, all right, well, I want to give a shout out to this game, even if it's not winning like best whatever. Like we have flexibility that we can call out some of our other favorite games that maybe aren't taking home actual like category awards or in the top 10 at Game Informer.
It's a good issue, yeah, because so Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, huge feature, all our end of the year stuff, which is always I love having that issue just to like as a time capsule of the year is always fantastic. A couple other things to call out before we close the stream here. We have a piece where we spoke to the team that made the end credits of Marvel Spider-Man 2, which if you haven't beaten the game, you might be like, okay, weird. But like if you've finished Marvel Spider-Man 2, you know how interesting those credits are. And that's a separate team from Insomniac that made those, and we spoke with them. We've got a big piece on the upcoming remake of Riven, the sequel to Myst. I wrote a big piece on Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I got to play a bunch of it. I played like 3 hours of it, but then I also spoke to Ubisoft about a section of the game that is exclusive to Game Informer, that is, as they even defined it. I asked them about it, and this is kind of how they defined it. They said it's the section of the game that is most referential to Sands of Time, which is like speaks to me because I love Sands of Time so much. And then all kinds of previews and reviews, and it's a good issue with an awesome cover. I'm going to show the full cover again, which
please do.
It's cloud on the back, and that's where the game title is. So if you consider, if you know how a magazine works, you fold this in half. The cover is just Game Informer, Sephiroth on fire, no other text. I love this. I love those covers that we just keep like just focused on a character or art. And this is a good one, man. This one looks great. We were so excited when this came through, and we got to see the finalized art. I think we were all very excited about it.
Yeah, I think I was like, too cool for my own britches, and I was like, really, Sephiroth on fire as the cover. This is before I saw it.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, and then I saw it. I was like, oh my god, this is iconic.
Yeah, it's very cool. I really like how it came out. But
and again, the art itself. Designed with the help of Tetsuya Nomura.
Yes,
so
very cool.
It's very cool that we have, we've had a lot of legendary artists. We've had Alex Ross contribute to Game Informer covers, all kinds of amazing. Like we've had for the Sonic covers, we've had some of the artists from IDW do it. But to have a bona fide legend in the games industry itself, like Nomura, contribute to our cover art is amazing, and he did an amazing job along with the team that he worked alongside. So cannot wait to get a physical version of this, but we have a lot of really fun stuff for digital subscribers as well. Lots of amazing information within the pages of this issue.
Yeah. A couple hours from now, maybe usually about 2-3 hours. It's when it's I mean, behind the scenes a little bit, it's like there's a certain degree of outside of our control of when we sort of execute that thing and when it goes live. But keep an eye on our Twitter account, all that stuff. We will let you know when you can read the full issue. But Brian, Alex, thank you guys so much for sharing your story, and look forward to the cover.
It's been hard to keep this one a secret, so I'm glad it's finally out there. But I hope everybody enjoyed this little casual stream, and you enjoy the issue when it goes live.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for watching,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.